To say a wonderful good morning to our viewers on GBN's television, that's channels 7, channel 11 and channel 20. Those of you that have joined us on Facebook via YouTube or via our webpage, that's at www.gbn.gd. Welcome again to the program. I'm Joseph Cador, and thanks for having you here with me. The 29th day it is of December, and who would have possibly imagined? I know there's some of you probably wish that 2020 was over and done with, but here's what I say. For those of you that's in a hurry, I hope you spend your final days of it praying that, because we have no idea. According to what people, brace yourself come 2020, 21, you have no idea what is going to happen, but we do trust God that it's going to be all right. It is Tuesday, and as per usual, we entertain the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force. This morning, we have the pleasure and company of Inspector of Police, that's Randall Batiste. And I want to say good morning to you, Inspector. How are you? Welcome to the program.
Thank you, and good morning to you, and good morning to the listening and viewing public.
I hope you've enjoyed the best of what this season has to offer thus far.
Yeah, we try to enjoy it in the best possible way, and at the same time making sure that we keep safe and apply all the necessary protocols
Re-COVID. There's a lot that we can talk about when it comes to what's happening in the traffic department. There's been there's COVID, as you said, a rerouting of traffic, what you do on a day-to-day basis. There is what come 2021, the different inspection sessions. Where do we start that conversation today?
Yeah, we will start that conversation today as it relates to our annual motor vehicle inspection.
Right.
So we'll speak to motor vehicle inspection this morning.
When does that process begin? And let's talk. Let's go.
Can you repeat that?
So I was asking I would say, so motor vehicle inspection, when does it start? Let's talk about the requirements, where and when. How exactly is that process going to roll out?
Okay, yeah. So motor vehicle inspection will commence on the 4th of January 2021. We will start our motor vehicle inspection process. As you know, every year between January to the 30th of June, there is 4 inspection periods where vehicles, based on the period on the number of your vehicle, will fall to a particular period, which I will explain as we get into more details. But the inspection commences on the 4th of January. Inspection will start at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then continue from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. The inspection will take place at 7 different centers throughout Grenada, Caravan, Grenada and Carrico, throughout Grenada and Carrico at 7 different licensing centers, and I will just break down the different licensing centers and the days that the inspection will be conducted at those centers. So we have the licensing and inspection center that's at Dusty Highway. Inspection will take place there every Monday to Friday of each week. Then we have Paul's Airstrip at Paul's, that's for the persons of St. Andrews or wherever who choose to go to that center. Inspection will take place there on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays of every week. And then for the western side, St. Patrick's side, inspection will take place at the fire station in St. Patrick's, and that will be every Thursday and Friday of each week. Then we have inspection taking place at Victoria Police Station every Wednesday of each week. Inspection will also be taking place at Wharf Police Station every Monday and Tuesday of each week. And inspection will also be taking place at St. David's Police Station every Thursday and Friday of each week. And last but not least, inspection will also be conducted at Carrico Police Station every Monday to Friday of each week.
Great. Now, this is an annual process, and the fact that we know COVID is into the mix.
Right. So
Inspector, are you still there? Inspector Batiste? It is just about 6 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. We seem to be experiencing some technical difficulties with our guest, Inspector Randall Batiste of the Royal Grenada Police Force. What we'll do, though, we'll take a quick commercial break, try to re-engage communication with him. I think... Inspector, are you there?
I'm hearing you now.
You are hearing me now. While you are there, though, just for the purpose of the television, I probably need you just to adjust your camera a bit. You're a pretty tall guy, so if you probably just step back one or just adjust right, cause you're right. We good. That makes it much better. Right. So I was just about asking you. I'm saying yes, we know this is an annual process, but it's not every time. You've never had to deal with this. The whole conversation about COVID, social distancing, and these protocols. Let's talk about that and what sort of protocol would be employed as you get this annual process underway.
Yeah, what will happen? We will definitely enforce and apply all the COVID protocols to meet the regulations. So persons must come prepared. Everyone must come with wearing a mask. Persons will be sanitized on arrival. Persons have to prepare to maintain that 6 feet distance apart when lining up to be processed. So all the necessary protocols will be in place to facilitate.
And for us having had the experience of COVID, we know with these existing protocols, it certainly it gives a rise to a lot of delay. It's a time-consuming process. With that being considered, has the IGPF also given a lot of time in terms of different locations? Have you increased the locations so as to ensure that this doesn't become too much of a long or drawn-out process for both the law enforcement and the general public?
Yeah, that is something that has been considered as we look to give the best service that is possible to the general public. And if you can recall, we would have operated in a COVID-like atmosphere in the month of May this year, when we will have the setup at the National Stadium, at Powers, and at Wharf on the western side. So we will engage the different stakeholders. If it has to get to that stage, then we are in the process of engaging the different stakeholders that once that situation comes to the fore, that we can definitely roll out that same type of settings once everyone is comfortable with it.
Inspector, for the purpose of edification, and I know there are some people that today they find the inspection process a little bit tedious. Some may argue, what's the need for it? Because let me look on the road and you see different class of vehicles, and you look at one type of vehicle, and then you ask yourself, well, hold on. But how is it that this one passed inspection and this one didn't? Talk to us, inform us. What is it, this inspection process that takes place annually, what is it that you were looking for as the IGPF?
Yeah, well, the purpose of inspection is to ensure that the particular vehicle is at a state of roadworthiness, ensuring that once the vehicle is on the road, that the persons driving the vehicle are safe and other persons using the road will be safe. So it's important. I want the general public to understand that inspection is of prior importance. So the purpose of that inspection is to ensure that the vehicle is in a state of roadworthiness.
So
yes, I was just getting into that. So when you go to do your inspection, you have to ensure that your braking system is working properly, meaning your foot brakes, your hand brakes. Also, you have to ensure that your lights are properly positioned. No colored headlamps. Your lights should be uncolored. All your indicators should be working. Your left, your right, front, and rear indicators should be working. Your vehicle exterior and interior should be thoroughly cleaned, and I want to stress on that because too many times you see persons coming for inspection and like you just come from the garden and you just come straight to the inspection period. I mean, like I see that as not being as a form of disrespect to the officer.
But that may probably just be the case. I'm a farmer. I just came from the garden.
Yes, you just came from the garden. You're a farmer, but remember, we have 45 days for every period to get our vehicle inspected. So we have time to do 1.5 hours to get that vehicle already clean and then come to the inspection center so it can be properly examined. Right? Also on the whole aspect of tint, your vehicle must be tinted, that the inspecting officer can see through each and every window of your vehicle from the outside to the inside. So persons have to be mindful of that. Also for the public service vehicle and the goods vehicle, we see people falter in that regard. They fail to write the tier weight and gross weight on the right side of the vehicle on a black background in white writing. So also that is critical. And also the number of persons that a vehicle is to carry, meaning a public service vehicle or a goods vehicle should be on the right side or by the driver's side below that window there. Should have the number of persons licensed to carry in that vehicle.
You said a lot. Let me ask you. You look at the street and you talk about the vehicle being the roadworthiness of the vehicle, but I'm assuming it doesn't in any way speak to the age of the vehicle, anything in that capacity, because you see some vehicles on the road and you more like, whoa, like seriously. I mean, are the officers really allowing this sort of vehicle to be on the road?
Well, age have nothing to do with reference as a criteria to meet for inspection. Once the vehicle is in good condition, good working condition, and the roadworthiness is good. So someone you can have a vehicle 30 years and it might be better than a vehicle that is 10 years old. So it all depends on the condition of the vehicle.
Public transport, and we talk about its roadworthiness. Does the inspection process give consideration to the seating arrangements, the quality of the seat, all those sort of things?
Yes, and that's when we speak about the interior and exterior. So the seats will be part of the interior process in which a vehicle is inspected. So the seats have to be properly covered.
But what about
properly secured?
But what about the comfort level? Because I'm telling you, if that is the case, there's a lot of buses on the road. You could give me a job for half a day, and I could just tell them, pull up in front of the central police station, because they have some of the most uncomfortable seats that you can possibly think about, and it compromises the safety of the general public.
Right, and so this in itself is an area where we'll definitely have to be more vigilant and keep a closer eye on as we move into this year's next year's inspection to ensure that the public buses don't get away with those types of shortcomings.
You made reference of the tint. And the tint, to me, the conversations surrounding the tint of the inspector always seem to be a ticklish one for reasons. Let me ask you though, does the inspection process that governs, let's say, private regular citizens, are they individuals that are exempted from that? Because I've seen some tints on some vehicles, and believe me, you can't see. Even when you're inside, you probably still cannot see outside. I was just laughing. I'm just saying that jokingly. But is this the same rule that applies? Because very often you see there's an inspection process, and it's as though the individuals will take the vehicle up for inspection in one condition that satisfies the criteria, and thereafter, what happens?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So persons are aware as to the expectation, what is expected for them to pass the inspection, so they do make all the necessary arrangements and put systems in place and pass the inspection. After they complete the process, now they go back to the irregularities. So we as an organization, what we're looking to do as we move forward into that is to ensure that we have strong enforcement in terms of when officers observe those things, we do what we call re-inspection. And that re-inspection now will have a cost to it. So if we can strongly enforce that, I assure that we will see a decrease in such behavior. So it is a matter of strong enforcement in terms of our officers. When they see someone that is in breach as to how they would have not passed the inspection, then we need to have re-inspection notices being given to those persons.
What, in your estimation, historically have been some of the common areas of challenges for the IGPF and road users that we probably warrant an officer saying, listen, you have been failed? And if in fact that you failed an inspection, let's talk about the process going forward. What happens?
Yeah, one of the challenges we observe in terms of persons failing inspection, number of persons handbrakes are not properly adjusted, especially the public service vehicle, and that is so important, right? So that is one of the areas we realize persons. And
but before you go on, I'm not sure if you're mechanically inclined, but when you say it is not adjusted properly, just for edification purposes, what exactly do you mean by that?
Yes, because the handbrakes, the purpose of the handbrakes is when you stop when you pull up your handbrakes, the handbrake should be able to keep the vehicle stationary. If it is not properly adjusted, that, for example, you might get about 3 clicks when you pull up the handbrakes. That shows that it's properly adjusted.
Right.
But sometimes you pull up the handbrakes and you just freely go all the way up, right? And that at that stage now, if you're on a hill, that handbrakes will not hold on the vehicle.
Right.
And you could imagine the danger that can occur as a result of that. So that is very, very, very important.
And that would, of course, lead to an automatic failure.
Failure, yes.
So I come from inspection.
One of the challenges we might have is inadequate resources for our vehicle to be thoroughly inspected in terms of putting a vehicle on a hoist and checking all the different mechanical features in that vehicle. That is one of our challenges.
Right, because no doubt. I know we had last year, was it last year? I think it was last year, or in recent times, we had that fatality on the Caravan with that public minibus. Right, and I can't remember the specifics of it, but I know that there were questions surrounding the braking system. And as you said, therein.
Yes, our inspection system presently is really rather basic. So we don't have the proper equipments to really properly examine for those type of defects. So that in itself is a challenge.
That isn't a challenge, and we're certainly hoping that going forward that conversation can change in time to come, because I think we honestly, as police, as citizens, the same way we trust you with keeping law and maintaining the law, we certainly, I know you try your best to ensure the safety of everyone on the road, not just the drivers but even pedestrians on a whole. Certainly, and then that could become a concern. But let me ask you though, so somebody passes inspection, especially things like that and different things. Do you just systematically you talk about or by observation? Because the inspection is done how often?
Inspection is done once per year.
I mean, but officer, you would agree with me that once a year, and given the fact that the challenges you have with law enforcement and the volume, the number of officers that you have, I mean, maybe you want to consider possibly maybe having a conversation regarding how often.
Yes, that can be looked into, but the law also gives you that the powers at any given time to call back in a vehicle for re-inspection based on a number of different things, on observation, defects.
Oh, okay.
So we can still pull them in by observation.
Okay, so outside of it, you can just randomly.
Yes.
You just randomly can say, well, listen.
The law gives us that authority.
The law gives us that authority. So we've talked about the schedule, what qualifies you, any area of the inspection process that we've left out that you want us to focus on.
Yes, I also want to mention, because I would have said there is 4 different periods for the inspection here. And based on the period, we determine what vehicles that should be inspected.
Right.
So I just want to zero in on that.
Sure, go ahead.
So the first period, I will just speak to the first period for now, and as we progress through the year,
right,
we'll update on the other period. So the first period we'll be dealing with, that period runs from the 4th of January 2021 to the 15th of February 2021. And that will deal with vehicles with plural registration letters, meaning PD, PAC, PAG, vehicles with plural registration letters from 1 to 250, and vehicles with single letters, that's PTH, from 1 to 2,500.
Right.
So these are the vehicles that will be required to do the inspection from the 4th of January to the 15th of February.
You talked about penalties if, let's say, for the failure of persons failing. Was it for the failure of an inspection? Is it a case? What if somebody willfully decides that whatever they qualify for inspection within, let's say, that first scheduling that you've made reference to? I missed that. What happens thereafter? Is there a penalty, or do I by default just?
Right. So if that person that would have failed to get a vehicle inspected within the required time based on the number of the vehicle, and there is not any justified reason, meaning the vehicle could have some mechanical problem that are waiting to be repaired by the mechanic, right? If that's not the case, or you are waiting some parts, if that's not the case and you have to get the vehicle inspected, there will be what you call a late fee of $50 that have to be paid when going through licensing the vehicle. But prior to that, you have to ensure that your vehicle is insured, and then you have to get what you call a permission from the police to bring that vehicle for inspection.
Right, because I was just wondering. I mean, I know people could come up with all kind of crazy reasons, but if for any reason they need but is it possible that I can apply for an exemption so that at least I don't have to pay that waiver? If I can prove, listen, I have a certificate that says for whatever reason, my vehicle, whether I'm doing my own personal work and this is going to be off the road, so for that period it would not be available for inspection. Can that be provided so as to exempt me at a later date from that late fee?
Yeah, so what the procedure to that is we don't want persons coming to let us know at the time when they want to go and get a vehicle inspected when the date already passed.
Right.
So you must send a letter to the head of the traffic department notifying us of the present situation with your vehicle, and as a result, the vehicle will not be ready for inspection within the stipulated time. And then when that time passes and you are ready to do the vehicle, whether if you brought it to a mechanic, then you must get a letter now from that garage stating when they will have done the repairs, the type of repairs, and within what time they will have done. So both letters should be corroborated. And once we are totally satisfied, the information is accurate, then no problem in guaranteeing an exemption.
Yeah, because sometimes some of the quality of the vehicles you see on the road, I would probably really agree that before they come, instead of going in and fail inspection, a lot of them should just go straight to the garage. Yeah, I think it's a lot of them, especially some of the public service vehicles. A lot of times you hear is as though you get the sense that they tend to compromise on those things. But we really appreciate what is it you're doing as the Royal Grenada Police Force. It's 24 minutes past the hour. We almost out of time. What I would just want you to do, Inspector Randall, just run through some of the salient points again, reminding persons as to the scheduling for the first list of persons that's available for inspection starting on the 4th.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate that inspection for 2021 will commence on the 4th of January, right? And inspection starts at from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4 p.m. And as I mentioned before, we have 7 different inspection centers throughout Grenada and Carriacou. And the vehicles that will be required for inspection for that first period will be vehicles with plural registration letters from 1 to 250 and vehicles with single registration letters from 1 to 2,500. And that period will be from the 4th of January to the 15th of February 2021.
And for those who probably have challenges trying to put those dates together, you literally mean inspector from next week Monday.
So to speak.
Right, because I know some people, they hear the 4th of January and not realizing that the 4th of January is in fact next week.
We have notices. We have notices that we'll be putting up on all the different police stations and different areas of locations that persons can have access to see.
Thank you, Inspector Randall Batiste of the Royal Grenada Police Force that is attached to the Traffic Department. All the best to you. So wishing you all the best, not just to yourself, but the rest of the team, your immediate team in the Traffic Department, and by extension, the Royal Grenada Police Force. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.
All the best to you. 27 minutes gone past the hour. We continued with the mid-morning program here. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we head down south where we link up with our girl Cammy inside of Real Value IGA.